سوال من این هست که میخوایم پرسان بکنم در ارتباط به حملاتی که فعلا طالبان در ولسوالی‌های افغانستان انجام میتن و کارهایی که اینا انجام میتن وارد خانه‌های افغان میشن. آیا از نظر شما این گروه کارهایشان چگونه است؟ غیر انسانی هست یا گروه تروریستی هستند طالبان؟ آیا اینا شما میپذیرین؟ و دیگه ای که در این اواخر آیا اجساد پاکستانی را شما کشور پاکستان دریافت کردن از افغانستان تسلیم شده باشند؟ نظرتون در این ارتباط چی هست؟ و با چنین شرایط نتیجه روند صلح در افغانستان شما چگونه میبینین من حیث یک کشور خیلی نزدیک بر افغانستان؟ تشکر.
First, what the Taliban are doing or not doing has nothing to do with us. You know, you have to speak to Taliban about what they're doing. We are not responsible. Neither are we some spokespersons for Taliban. But you have two choices. 20 years, a military solution has been attempted to bring peace to Afghanistan, and that's failed. Now you have a choice. Either this American-backed military solution you can continue, because if you feel the Taliban are not someone you want to have in part of your government, you can keep on the course of a military solution. But everyone knows it's not possible anymore. The second solution is to have a government, a political compromise between the Taliban and the government, to have a compromise, an inclusive government. That is the only solution. Now, what the Taliban are doing or not doing has nothing to do with us. All we want is that there should be peace in Afghanistan. Pakistan's interest is peace there. There are 3 million Afghan refugees in Pakistan. Almost all of them are Pashtuns. And all of them, or most of them, would have sympathies with Taliban. How is Pakistan supposed to check who is going over there to fight or not when there are about 25, 30,000 people who cross every year, every day? They go into Afghanistan and come back. How is Pakistan going to check that? So Pakistan has consistently said that if the Afghan refugees go back to Afghanistan, then hold us responsible. But if there are 3 million refugees here, how can we say few hundred or few people have gone there to fight and their bodies are coming back? How can Pakistan be held responsible? There are refugee camps of 500,000 people. There are refugees with over 100,000 people. So how is Pakistan going to go into the refugee camps and decide who is pro-Taliban and who is not? So it's not possible unless, and let me just say the other thing, that until recently there was no border between Pakistan and Afghanistan. The Durand line was just imaginary. There was no physical border. So to stop, to control the outflow and inflow into Pakistan, we have built this fence at a huge cost to Pakistan. We have completed 90% of the fence now. So for the first time you have a border fence. Before that there was no border anywhere. Durand line was no border. So we are trying our best, but it is not possible to hold Pakistan responsible when you have over 3 million refugees here. What interest could possibly Pakistan have in a civil war in Afghanistan? What interest would Pakistan have in backing someone to take over Afghanistan? What is clear is that no one party will be able to take over Afghanistan. So if Taliban try to take over Afghanistan, it will just be an ongoing civil war. In the past, Pakistan did have an interest. In the 90s, Pakistan had an interest. And why did Pakistan have interest? Because Pakistan had this policy of strategic depth. What was strategic depth? Pakistan was always wary of Indian influence in Afghanistan, and Pakistan did not want to have a situation where it was fighting on two fronts. So Eastern Front, India, and then Afghanistan also became pro-India. So in those days, Pakistan did try to have favorites. They backed favorites. Now, and especially my government, we believe that Afghanistan can never be controlled from outside. Afghanistan has a history. Throughout history, Afghans are the most independent people. So you can't control Afghanistan from outside. So our government's policy is, whoever the people of Afghanistan choose, Pakistan will have best relationship with them. So we have no favorites now. We do not have that old policy of the 90s of strategic depth anymore.
सीनियर सहाफ़ी शफीक कुरैशी की ज़ेर सदारत जोड़वा शहरों से शाया होने वाला पहला मुकम्मल मुकामी अखबार रोज़नामा 99 न्यूज़, जिसमें मुकामी खबरों के अलावा शामिल होती हैं तमाम कौमी और बैनुल अक़वामी खबरें। दौरे जदीद के तकाज़ों के ऐन मुताबिक अब तमाम सोशल मीडिया टूल्स फेसबुक, ट्विटर और यूट्यूब के साथ भी दस्तयाब है। आज ही अपने हॉकर से इसकी कॉपी बुक करवाएं या विजिट करें www.99news channel